Hey, Battle Bill, here with another video, getting some more Season 12 Go Battle League battles, these taking place in the Ultra Premier Classic meta. In today's video, we have a submission from a fellow PvPer of the community by the name of Cuito, and he'll be showcasing the fighting dragon type Pokemon of Kommo-o. Kommo-o is a relatively new addition to the Ultra Premier Classic meta, because the last time Ultra Premier Classic was around, Kommo-o was not. It has access to the main fast move of Dragon Tail with a combination of charge moves being Close Combat and Dragon Tail. So we have a collection of battles from Cuito. I'm going to leave the Twitch link to his Twitch channel in the description of this video. Highly recommend you check out his content. Always testing out spicy things along these lines. And let's jump in. And as always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe onto this video. Now you'll notice in this first battle he has only Close Combat as his charge move. Don't worry, that will change after this battle. He realized he was running a single move Kommo-o, probably when he had the Kommo-o matchup against Trevenant and was like, I don't want to throw a charge move because that would not be ideal to throw a fighting move against a ghost type. So the Trevenant doesn't recognize that he has only Close Combat. They swap out. He matches the Sylveon with his Escav, and this is such an awkward matchup because Sylveon resists all the counters because it's a fairy type, but then Escavalier being the steel type resists all the damage that Sylveon can deal. So at least he's going to be able to spam out drill runs. He's throwing on good timing, no charms sneaking through, able to get a shield advantage even though he is does not get switch in this circumstance, and then comes into Wall Rain, has to shield the charge move coming through from the Sylveon, going to try to commit to a farm down. The opponent recognizes this and then decides to swap their Trevenant in. Because Wall Rain is so thick in the Ultra meta based on the 2500 CP, it lets the Seed Bomb go through, easy tanks, throws the Icicle Spear, takes out the Trevenant, and then the Sylveon Charmer comes back in. We don't know what his last mon is, ends up being a Swampert, and the opponent top lefted, which was fascinating because like the Swampert could just need to throw 2 Hydro Cannons. I guess they were worried about the amount of like energy the Wall Rain had, but I feel like there was still a battle to play out there. Regardless, dubs are dubs and we take those. Into his next matchup, you'll notice he has both moves. He throws a Close Combat, dips, then safe swaps into his Escav. The Steelix stays in. I feel like this means that this is going to be an Earthquake coming through. It ends up being a Psychic Fang's bait. No matter what the charge move is, Psychic Fangs is definitely the bait move here. His opponent assumed that he was going to shield. What a huge call on his end. The opponent is staying in with the Steelix the entire time, lets a drill run come through, and he's able to drill run it out of existence. Swampert comes in, throwing a Hydro Cannon, takes out his Escav. Hydro Cannon does that much damage? Why am I surprised that the Hydro Cannon took out the Escav's remaining health? I really thought he would have survived that and gotten off the Mega Horn. That was odd. Either way, now he's got Kommo-o against Dragonite, because today's feature is going to decide which dragon is the best in the Ultra Premier Classic meta. Kommo-o, Dragonite, maybe even a Spice Pick, a Goodra. Well, today's a Kommo-o feature to see how well it performs, and so far it's off to a great start. Another Wall Rain on Swampert situation in that last match, and Cuito is able to pull off the dub. Getting to this next matchup, he has a Kommo-o and another Steelix lead. They throw the Psychic Fangs here, going to be super effective damage, and then they swap out to catch a Close Combat on their Trevenant. Huge play by the opponent. He does have a good answer for the Trevenant in the form of his Wall Rain. He could again let the first Seed Bomb come through, because at this Ultra 2500 CP that we're at, it's nowhere near as glassy as Wall Rain at a Great League CP. Going for the Icicle Spear here would take out the Trevenant's remaining health. They shield. He's going to match shields. He's going to get to another Icicle Spear, and essentially the Wall Rain and the Trevenant, even though he ends up going for the farm down, but now based on the Icicle Spear nerf, Wall Rain still performs quite well in Open Ultra, first and foremost. But secondly, they get to the charge moves at the same time when they're at even energy. They were not even energy in this circumstance, which is why that did not happen. But regardless, the Wall Rain Trev matchup's a lot better in Ultra now than it is in Great League. Well, not a lot. It's still worse than it was pre-nerf. But my point here is that it's better than it is in Great League. That's my point, even with the nerf. Regardless, a Goodra comes in and Dragon Breaths down his Kommo-o. Crazy stuff. See, like I said, it's a big dragon feature going around here. Comes in with the Escav. Goodra having main access charge moves to Muddy Water and Power Whip. He lets that charge move come through. They're throwing quite fast. This next one probably fully expects another Muddy Water. The Goodra could sneak moves along the lines of Draco Meteor or Sludge Bomb. Do keep that in mind, but regardless, able to counter down. They both save a shield apiece for Season 13, and Cuito gets the dub there. Getting to the next matchup, he has a terrible lead because Kommo-o's Dragon Fighting typing takes double super effective from Charm. He save swaps into Wall Rain, gets met with a horrible swap. Not in a great situation. Is he going to be able to play his way out of this one? Time to find out. He eats a cross chop to the face, gets it to Icicle Spears. Will the double spear damage damage, potentially threaten his shield and put him in maybe not as bad situation. Honestly, based on the damage the first one did, the second one should not get a shield. It does not. The opponent's going to be able to counter down, which is not super ideal. Gonna have to come in with a Kommo-o. Problem is, he's gonna have to eat damage from the Obstagoon, and when he builds up the energy from farming this Obstagoon down, the Sylveon's gonna come in and not worry about any of it, because all of the damage Kommo-o would deal would either be double resisted or single resisted. He swaps out as soon as the game allows him, and then the opponent comes with an SCAF, and unfortunately, this is just GG. He does have a shield. He does have the energy advantage here, so might be able to play out of the 2 shield. The problem is SCAV is such like a glass cannon-y type that the counters that are coming through on both ends are just dealing so much damage to each other that even with his energy advantage, if he was able to play out of this and win this matchup, the Sylveon's just going to be able to come in and charm him down. So unfortunately not sitting in a great spot here, and is probably going to have the top left at some point. He did build up the 2 drill runs. Let's see if the opponent decides to shield this. Nope, they let it go through. SCAV goes down. Sylveon's got too much health. He goes for the moves just to try and play it out, see how close he can keep it. But again, like I said, got RPS. These matches are bound to happen. It's nobody's fault other than just the alignment of team comp against team comp. Going into the next matchup, we have a Kommo-o and a Trevenant lead. Another bad lead. Question is, does this Trevenant swap out like the other one did? And now Cuito has Dragon Claw for this matchup. So let's see how this turns out. He calls the Seed Bomb bait. Huge call on his end. Builds up to 1.5 Dragon Claws. Throwing the first one here. How much damage does Dragon Claw do to Trev? Does a decent chunk. And then the Dragon Tail damage. Can he shield and farm down? Is that going to be his play? As the opponent double baits with another Seed Bomb. That's insane. He's almost able to Dragon Tail down, but the Trevenant's got good IVs. 1 HP. Did they get to a Shadow Ball? No. Nothing but Seed Bombs from this Trev. Then they come in with a Wall Rain. He throws the close combat, hopefully getting the shield back that he had to expend to win lead, and is sitting in now a good situation because he can line up his SCAF with their Wall Rain, and now this falls down to whatever the opponent's last mon is. Now it's very common Trev Wall Rain core, and unfortunately Trev's dead, so his Wall Rain in the back will hopefully line up against something that it has a good matchup against, but it cannot be Trev. He unfortunately gets baited by the Wall Rain to Icicle Spear that comes through. He throws a drill run there, swaps, makes a huge catch. This should be an Earthquake, ends up being an Earthquake. There's a good chunk of his Wall Rain's health. And wait, why is the opponent not swapping out? Did we already see 2 of their mons? I don't know either, because he has his IV checker in the top right, and I cannot see the amount of mons that are left for his opponent. He's going to go for a counter down. Oh, okay, it's a Swampert. He does have one mon left. I was a little confused with what was going on here. But either way, the opponent swaps out into Swampert on SCAV. Another charge room coming through from one of the previous matches this Hydro Cannon should take out. It's going to be an unfortunate loss. No, it survives. Why did that Hydro Cannon do so much damage in that first Swampert on SCAV matchup? That's still so confusing to me. Either way, he's able to get a tie out of this, which is crazy, but I'm so flabbergasted because I swear that the Hydro Cannon a couple matches ago just did so much damage that it was not supposed to do, because the amount of damage that happened from this past Swampert's Hydro Cannon was what I was expecting to happen. Either way, I'm so thrown off. Getting to the next matchup, we got Dragon Fighter against Grass Poison. Who is going to have the more positive matchup here? We won't know because nobody's playing it out. The opponent decides to swap their Venu out, so I'm assuming Venu is going to lose this because at least the Kommo-o can go straight neutral damage, whereas Frenzy Plant would be resisted by the Kommo-o. And again, they could throw Sludge Bomb, but regardless, I digress. Because they swapped in the Wall Rain, he matches it with his SCAV, which is a very hard countery situation for him. Commits the shield, should only be an Icicle Spear. Hard counter positive, I mean. Ends up over farming here, gonna throw another drill run. This will take out the Wall Rain's remaining health. Maybe potentially get a shield. It gets the shield. I'm quite surprised. They really want to get up this other Icicle Spear. Does Cuito give up his last shield? He does, to keep alignment and go for the counter down. Definitely could be worth it, should be worth it. Sometimes I like having a shield advantage in this situation. It all depends, on your team comp and how you're feeling about bulk, and if your last mon needs a shield. And in this circumstance, Wall Rain definitely does not need a shield. Even Shadow super thick. The opponent is throwing straight Hydro Cannons in the 0 shield scenario. Is this a single move Swampert? That is confusing. Either way, both of these are going to go, because even if they have Sludge Wave, they want to throw Sludge Wave. So it's like Trainer, 10,000 Dust. I'm pretty sure third move on Swampert is affordable. Regardless, Cuito gets to double Icicle Spears, and I feel like he would still outpace. It would have came down to the opponent making some sort of swap and potentially catching on the Venu for his opponent to win this. Either way, he tries to catch a Frenzy Plant onto his Kommo-o, and the opponent just decides not to throw anything. Seems like they were going for 2 Frenzy Plants there. Either way, his Kommo-o gets to a Dragon Glow, takes it out, and that is GG. Getting to this next one, we have a Kommo-o on a Heracross lead. I don't know how this one's going to play out. It's a very interesting matchup. I've never seen it before. I've never used Kommo-o. So we're learning this one together. He gets to the Dragon Claw, lands it, does a decent chunk, has to worry about potential close combat or potential bait, ends up being the close combat, does heavy damage. Opponent still swaps out, even though they could have won lead. And if they would have won lead, they would have won alignment, and Alolan Muck wouldn't have been as walled against this Escav as it would have been against the wall raid, because the opponent definitely could have won that and just countered down even after debuffing themselves. Maybe they were worried about Kommo-o getting to a move and potentially getting the shields, but regardless, we're in this situation now. The opponent's getting to a charge move. He's not going to shield. He calls the acid spray. Must have been counting. The opponent must not have built up enough poison jabs, because honestly, in that situation, I feel like it's just worth the shield not even to take the chance of getting baited, because Escav does so well against Alolan Muck. But regardless, Cuito makes a huge call, has shield advantage. Heracross comes back in to counter him down, comes in with the Kommo-o, which could have gotten countered down, but the opponent then swaps in their wall rain. Powder snows him down. He has a 2 shield to 1 shield advantage on the opposing wall rain, both shadows, so he needs to just get these earthquakes off, potentially do his best to make sure he doesn't get baited. Because he calls the first earthquake, the opponent top lefts is Cuito getting paid actors? Because I swear that opponent had a chance there too. That's a second match we've seen out of this set of battles where he won by the opponent calling it quits prematurely. But you know what? We take those. Wins are wins either way, no matter what. Regardless, getting to this next matchup, he has a Kommo-o on an Empoleon lead. Opponent does not want their steel type to get close combated, and they swap into a Nidoqueen. He probably should have swapped faster into his Walrein, because Walrein still has a very positive matchup against Nidoqueen. Ends up eating an Earth Power because of the amount of energy he allowed that Nidoqueen to pick up from staying in with the Kommo-o. Either way, though, he's throwing an Icicle Spear here, able to get his opponent's first shields. Will he respect the Poison Fang? He is not. He's allowing the Poison Fang to come through. Walrein will survive. Will it get to the Icicle Spear? Just does. So either he'll keep alignment or he will get shield advantage. The opponent decides to give up their shield. Does he decide to come in and counter down the Escav? He does. The only thing he has to worry about with the Nidoqueen on Escav matchup is another Earth Power coming through. Did he count correctly? He might have counted up to the Earth Power, probably was, but the opponent decided to bait because getting the debuff was worth it, since apparently the Earth Power is a guaranteed shield. They then come in with the Gallade. He throws a Mega Horn and it practically one-shots a Gallade. The Gallade literally just disappeared from the Escav's damage. What a goddamn matchup. The opponent, I guess, couldn't really bring in Empoleon against Escavalier there either, because it would have taken super effective damage. So Escav really popping off on the back. So I was going to say, why not save the confusion damage of Gallade for the Kommo-o? But regardless, what a match. What a collection of battles. Kommo-o absolutely popped off. Highly recommended, worth it mon. Definitely one of the top dragons in Ultra Premier Classic meta, probably even in Open Ultra. But on that note, please let me know what you thought of the battles. I thoroughly enjoyed watching through these. So Cuito, thank you so much for the submission. And as always, if you want to send me your battles, the link for submissions is in the description of this video. If you're able to send me battles, that would be amazing. Thank you so much for watching as always. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you all in the next video. Preach!